Can you believe it? Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hafiz TV. I'm your host, Hafiz, and tonight's conversation is about black fatigue. Now that I've unmuted my mic, maybe everyone in the chat can actually hear what I have to say about black fatigue. Now, the thumbnail that I'm using isn't actually correct in the sense that this book, Black Fatigue, was written by a Wokey about how how black people have. Oh, wait a minute, no sound. Still no sound. Still no sound. Oh no. We have sound now. We have sound now. We're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. Thank you. I do apologize for the interruption, ladies and gentlemen. There was a sound issue, but now the sound is back. So, this book was written about how black people are fatigued of having to worry about racism all the time, whilst actually the channel, the stream that I'm running tonight is about how black people are fatigued about other black people and their actions. As Chris Rock would put it, there are black people and then there are ninjas. Now I can say ninjas or sniggers or naggers, shall we say. Those who nag you, those who irritate you, naggers. That's right. Gingers, not gingers though, not ginger people. We're not talking about gingers, but if you rearrange the letters of a ginger, you'll get what I mean. So there are black people and there are naggers or ninjas or sneakers. Sneakers. So yeah, I'm going to play a couple of videos first. And then we're gonna go into the conversation, and then I shall open the panel for some more conversation about this issue. I don't want it to digress to other things. I don't want to talk about Israel-Palestine. I don't want to talk about anything. I want to talk about black fatigue. So if you could please try to at least address somewhat of the topic, at least in your introduction, that would be nice. What is this? What am I seeing? I'm seeing something. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm seeing things, people. I'm losing my freaking mind. I'm losing my mind. Okay, let's go into it. Let's get into this bad boy. Let's start with this video first. This is from Mark Dice, talking about black fatigue. Describes deep mental exhaustion of being forced to care about black people. This is, by the way, from the Urban Dictionary, so this isn't like Oxford's Dictionary or I don't know, whatever other reputable dictionaries. This is Urban Dictionary. Black fatigue describes a deep mental exhaustion from being forced to care about black people and their actions 24/7. Let us see what Marquis Dicey has to say about all this. I don't believe it. I can't hear a thing. I can't hear a thing. Is it me? I apologize. I apologize, everyone. It seems that the sharing is not playing the sound again. No sound on the clip. I know. It's a freaking nightmare. It's a freaking nightmare. I shared the goddamn sound. Why? Why, people? Why you? Why does it do this to me? I apologize. Why do you do this to me? It seems that the sharing is not playing the sound. Okay, let's try this.
There's a certain term which is going viral. Many of you probably first heard about it here. I didn't coin it, but I certainly did my best to popularize it. Black fatigue, the deep mental exhaustion from being forced to care about black people and their actions 24/7. And it's going viral, but not by the people who you would expect to be talking about it. Many white people have been experiencing it for, well, decades. Others for the last 5 years or so, since the 2020 Black Lives Matter insurrection. But many black people are also experiencing it because, well, tell us, Chris Rock.
Everything white people don't like about black people really don't like about black people.
Obviously, he's talking about a subsect of the black community, but you're not supposed to use certain terminology to describe that kind of behavior. But many in the black community are also experiencing black fatigue because of them.
There's an interesting phrase going around these days. It's called black fatigue. When I heard that shit, I started laughing because I've been had black fatigue. The ghetto ratchet bull, all the random acts of violence. Black fatigue is some real shit, especially with the Carmelo Anthony thing. That was some degenerate punk bull. I have black fatigue too, and so do the rest of the black people. And what it should be called is nigga fatigue.
I think we're all on the same page, sir. And stay tuned because there's plenty more to come in this video. But real quick, subscribe to my channel if you're new here because, well, obviously, you're not going to get authenticity from any other YouTube channel like this. If you search TikTok for black fatigue, you find a lot of black people expressing that they too are experiencing it. And we'll go through some of these. I'm assuming that some of them are very upset at the term and are going to just blame white people for that too. But listen to these people.
Black fatigue. This video might make you uncomfortable, but it needs to be made. There's a growing sentiment, most recently, of individuals who are proclaiming they do have black fatigue. And you don't have to be a non-black person to have black fatigue.
So there's this term that's going around called black fatigue. And what black fatigue is, you are tired of certain black behaviors in the black community that needs to be addressed, and it's literally making you tired at this point. When it comes to black on black crime, upholding things that are not right in the black community, like baby mama culture and the rap culture that we have now, gang violence, all of these things that are horrible for the black community.
Just listening to a video, this is Dr. T, just listen to a video of a guy expressing the true sentiments of white people. White people are tired of this shit. White people are tired of hearing racism, oppression. Oh God, they're racist against me. White people are tired of hearing black people's excuses of why they can't graduate high school, why they can't raise their kids. Black kids running all over the city, no parents. I know why, because the parents let them do this shit. I've worked with black parents for decades. They won't work with you. They won't cooperate. Their lives are going down the tubes, and I can't get black parents to do anything, especially black mothers.
Black fatigue. A lot of y'all are going to get mad at me, but when are you not? What is black fatigue? People are tired of your People are tired of the black community. It is what it is. Even black people are tired of the black community. That should tell you something. But they just call us derogatory names just like they call white folks. People are tired of seeing the same over and over again. And if they say anything about it, it's racist. If they want something done about it, it's racist. If they want justice for a crime that was committed by the black community, racist. Like I said, you don't have to be white to experience this. Asian people, Hispanic people, white people, even black people experience black fatigue. Simply being tired of that.
Just in case nobody told you, let me tell you. This thing called black fatigue is real. Now, what is black fatigue? Just in case you were not aware. Black fatigue occurs when people, including black people, get sick and tired of black people who always want to play the victim, always want to complain, always want to act a fool.
Now, I'm playing this in an American sense, but excuse me. But if you actually take it to a British level, this isn't just black fatigue in Britain. It's also Islamic fatigue. It's Pakistani fatigue. It's immigrant fatigue. We are constantly, the white people, not me. I mean, I am part of the immigrant group, but I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up having to constantly worry about walking on eggshells about this degenerate religion of Islam, without constantly having to post and look at and see every day a new atrocity committed by the Muslim community or the Pakistani community or even the Indian community and the Sikh community, even if they do degenerate stuff. But it's mostly, let's be honest, it comes from the Islamic world. Afghanis, these grooming gangs are majority Muslim. This is the problem. This is essentially, you could say this is a fatigue that the British are experiencing. This is why things like Southport blow up the way they do, because they are under this. They're getting fatigued, and also, I mean, the BLM stuff is all mixed in as well. Now, I mean, in Britain, I think the black community, the African American, Afro-Caribbean, community, isn't as annoying as the American blacks are in America, or not, and the crimes that they're committing is kind of mixed in with all the other groups, the Somalis, the Afghans, the Pakistanis, Iranians, and all the rest. So it's a hodgepodge of just. I think in Britain it's just foreigner fatigue. In Britain, you can really just classify it as foreigner fatigue. It's not a particular group of foreigners. It's just foreigners as a massive load. There is just too many foreigners who are behaving too badly and too often. And I think that's what it is in Britain. Britain is really just suffering from just foreigner fatigue, and they're just. I'm talking about those obviously native British people, the Aboriginals, not someone like me. I mean, I've had enough. I've had enough of London and its shitty diversity and its constant barrage of traffic. I've had enough of all of this shit. I went to the countryside the other day, and I'm gonna put some of the videos I took. I went to countryside. I went to Southend. Not really the countryside, the seaside. I went to Southend-on-Sea, and it was amazing. It was lovely, absolutely lovely in comparison to the shithole of London. The traffic was relatively light. You could park. Parking for 3 hours was like £6. Do you know parking is like £10 for like a few hours now in central London? If you can find it, if you can even find one, it's ridiculously expensive. You can't find one to begin with. You can't even get in there to begin with. So it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare living in this shithole diverse community society. I despise it. I hate it. I want to go out into the countryside. As I've said it before, and I'll say it again, I want to be where the white people are. I want to see them dancing, walking around on those, what do you call it? Oh, white feet. Up where they're white, up where they're bright, up where they wear suntan lotion in the sun. Wandering free, wish I could be part of white world. Yes, that's right. I want to go where the white people are, because I'm done. Now, by the way, this is Mark Dice. If you guys want to go check him out, go check him out. I personally love it. Everything he does is fantastic. It's got a light, humored, comedic angle to all of his news reportings, but he reports on very serious stuff. Go check out Operation Mockingbird. Go check out all the other nefarious things that the CIA and the British government have done for many, many years. Sunblock factor 50. The thing is, I was walking around and I didn't wear any suntan, and I actually caught the sun quite badly. I've got a bit of a tender scalp. I had to butter it up when I got home. Put some cream on there. Actually, I do have aloe vera. I've got to aloe vera it later. I just realized. But yeah, so I want to go there. I want to go where the white people are. I do believe in white people. I do believe in white people. So, moving on from that real quickly, I'm going to play a little video of just a great guy, Bearing. He's been around a long time. His video production is a bit sort of on and off these days. I guess he's got a lot of other things on his plate, but he still produces and he's still funny as hell. So let's see Bearings. This kind of ties into the same black fatigue thing that Mark Dice was talking about. So I want to play this video that he's created in regards to the heinous naggers word that was uttered, and Piers Morgan and his race baiting and his just drama creating asshole that he is. I despise Piers Morgan so much. He's such a douche.
No. I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me, because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word, because that's basically what it's going to be.
There was quite the spot of bother on the Piers Morgan show the other night. Piers Morgan Uncensored, which ironically was censored in this clip. Now, Piers Morgan, to me, he's one of those guys that sometimes makes complete sense. Sometimes, however, he's an absolute bitch. So he had a bunch of people on his show to talk about the Shiloh Hendrix thing. You know, the Shiloh Hendrix thing versus the Carmelo Anthony thing, the fundraisers. Tits and I did a video about it the other day. But one bloke he had on the panel, Mark Lamont Hill.
Welcome back to Black News Tonight.
Absolutely loses it towards the end. It's performative outrage and it's quite the spectacle. Let's have a look. Let's go!
I guess the common theme is that both of them say that as a result of all the publicity, they've been doxxed and had all their personal details put everywhere on social media, which is, of course, the modern scourge which gets involved. And as a result, they've had death threats. And
by the way, I'd just like you to note on how they appear to have equated both actions of Carmelo Anderson and Shyla Hendrix actions as the same. Notice the subtle way that they've made these two things almost equal, their actions. Carmelo Anderson murdered a human being. Okay. Allegedly murdered a human being. He took a human being's life. A human being is dead because of Carmella. Shyla Hendrix said a mean word to a child. Now they want to infantilize the child. Now that they're going to point, the Bearing will point all that out. Don't worry. But the fact is, Carmella Anderson said a mean word or a no word, potentially to a child, and even though whether that child actually acknowledged that word or not is neither here or there. She said a bad word to a child. The other guy took a human life. But according to these dipshits, that's all the same. It's all on par. It's not on par. It really isn't. You should recognize these two things are not the same.
They have security issues and they have to move home and so on.
Okay, fair enough. I think people were pissed off at the Carmelo Anthony thing because it was kind of maybe assumed that the fundraiser was for his legal defense. Now, when that judge reduced his bond and he went and moved into a plush house and bought a couple of cars, it was kind of on the nose. Now, people might say the same thing about Shiloh Hendrix. It's kind of on the nose that she used the N-word and raised all this money. Now, I'm sure you've got your own opinion on that, but I mean, both of these people surely have the right to raise funds. If people want to give them money, then they should be able to give them money, right? Anyway, here's Mark Lamont Anthony's response to that.
My quick response to that would just be, let's assume everybody's telling the truth. Let's assume she's telling the truth, and let's assume he's telling the truth. If he's telling the truth and he was doing self-defense...
Okay, fix your fucking audio. And I'm sorry, but no one believes he was doing self-defense. The guy bought a knife to a track meet. He admits that he killed Austin Metcalf because Austin Metcalf grabbed him and tried to remove him from a tent. I mean, look, he deserves his day in court, but let's not beat around the fucking bush. The Shiloh Hendrix case is very clear on face value. I think you've got to really fucking stretch yourself to assume that Carmelo Anthony is telling the truth. I mean, about the self-defense part. He obviously is telling the truth about stabbing him. Anyway.
And he's getting harassed and doxxed. And of course, we already know lies have been told about his GoFundMe campaign, saying they were spending it on mansions and cars, all the kind of racist tropes.
Racist tropes? Lies? Wait, did he not rent a $900,000 house? Did he not buy cars? Are we saying that they're fabricated racist lies? Fucking give me a break. Racist tropes.
If that's true, he's being mistreated. And I think that's a a sort of very easy case to make.
By the way, note the way Bering is he's put that the fire alarm chirp. He sticks it in every time this guy's talking. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this fire alarm trope. It's a meme that black people just don't change their fire alarm batteries, so it's just constantly there's a chirping sound in the background every so often. But yeah, just listen out for that. I'm gonna rewind this slightly so you can
Treat it, and I think that's a sort of very easy case to make. When it comes to her, however, let's assume she's also telling the truth, that she used the word, she thinks the kid was acting like one, she feels like she has the right to use that word against that small baby because of whatever age appropriate thing the kid did. If she's telling the truth,
whatever age appropriate thing the kid did, stealing things from someone else's baby bag is an age appropriate thing from a baby that now he has taken it from 5-year-old autistic child to a baby now. Now we have to think about this toddler or some child baby that's crawled on his hands and knees into Shiloh's baby bag. Apparently, the kid is at best 10 years old. Most people estimate to be about 10 years old, and there's no evidence that the kid is autistic. None of these things are true, but of course, for mental visualization, this race grifter will create a scenario where they want to actually make this kid as young as possible. But yeah, listen out for the chirp. I've rewinded it.
Fabricated racist lies? Fucking give me a break. Racist tropes.
if that's true, he's being mistreated, and I think that's a
There it was.
a sort of very easy case to make. When it comes to her, however, let's assume she's also telling the truth, that she used the word, she thinks the kid was acting like one, she feels like she has the right to use that word against that small baby because of whatever age appropriate thing the kid did. If she's telling the truth and she's getting doxxed and harassed, I don't know if I want to reward her behavior with $500,000. I don't think she should be doxxed. I don't think she should be harassed. I think she has been mistreated to the extent that no one should be. You have a right to be racist. You have a right to free speech in this country. But I'm not donating money for it, and I feel
No one's asking you to donate money for it. No one's asking you to donate money to her. The fact is, the white community are doing it in order to spite you. Don't you seem to realize this? Race grifters like you, they want to do it so that you lose your shit. That is why this woman is becoming a millionaire. The fact is that they have had enough of you. They hate you, so they are doing it to you by giving her money. They are throwing it in your face. They're telling the black fragile community that if anyone uses that no word of yours and you try to destroy them, we will not let you. You have to realize that if you want to destroy someone's life because they use a no word on and some other asshole recorded it and blasted you online, that you not only will not cancel them, you may inadvertently make them a millionaire. So the next time your mob and your asshole fragile egos decide to go out and destroy a person's life, threaten her life and all of that stuff, remember, you may be making this person into a millionaire. Good luck with your cancel culture, bitch.
a lot worse about her GoFundMe than the one for the person who's been railroaded.
Well, then don't donate money to her. You have a choice in the matter. But let's just make our way back down to earth for a second. One of these people fatally stabbed a teenage boy in the chest, and the other used a word that you don't like. Now, like I said, I think they both should be able to raise money if they want to. If people want to give them money, they should be able to. But fuck me, the absolute cope of this guy to equalise the two. Anyway, let's move on.
Exactly, and that is what I said at the beginning. But it's the fact that the fact that both, not just this race grifter, but Piers Morgan tries to equate, or at least implies that these two actions are of the same value or of the same level. Saying words to people versus taking lives.
To Lily Gaddis. Now, I don't know who Lily Gaddis is.
I have to admit, I wasn't sure who Lily Gaddis was either. I just saw her as just this incredibly insane but based woman. And later on, I discovered that she's in fact famous for using the N-word. That's how she got her clout on the internet, and that's how she works for I don't know, one of these like Blaze Media or one of these other, you know, dissident media groups, because she used the N-word. And also she became quite popular on TikTok because she did this trad wife kind of meme or videos about how she cooks and cleans for her husband and her family and this and that. And she's like a traditional wife. I don't know whether it was an act or a real thing, but yeah, she did that. She became famous through that. Plus, she became famous because she used the N-word. Now, actually, let Bering say it. It's better if Bering explains this.
Apparently she's some sort of influencer. She's on TikTok. She made some post that got millions of views, rah, rah, rah. But yeah, she's the big bad racist on this panel, and it gets really heated. Let's watch.
White people have been under attack for years. It's been systematic racism. As much as black people and people of color want to talk about systematic racism in the United States, it's quite the opposite. They get preferential treatment when it comes to getting a job, when it comes to getting into colleges. White people, on the other hand have been...
Now, I don't know the doorbell meme. Maybe this is some other meme that I've missed out, but he threw in the doorbell meme on that one. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe this is like another meme, like the fire alarm chirp.
Getting attacked relentlessly. Look at 2016 and BLM and all the riots. We just had to sit back and watch people burn down our cities and do nothing about it.
I'd like to throw in a correction there. The BLM riots were 2020. They were not 2016. I don't know what she was thinking when she said 2016. I think she was thinking about Trump's election on 2016. There were no BLM riots at 2016. The 2016 George Floyd, the George Floyd riots were 2020. Unless there's something else that happened in 2016 that I'm missing. So please let me know in the chitty chats.
So the way to fight back against essentially this anti-white hatred that's been systemically, ingrained in U.S. society is with white unity.
I mean, she makes some fair points. It does seem like white people are just like fatigued of this shit. Now, if black people can get together and support their own, even if they've done something really fucked up, then why can't white people? I mean, like I said, I'm sure you've all got varying opinions on this, but I get what she's saying. I get the logic.
Would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
You would?
Mm-hmm. I do, quite frequently.
You use the N-word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist.
Fuck off, Pierce. Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Shut the fuck up. Everyone uses the N-word at some point. I mean, fucking hell. I know there's like some sanctimonious white saviors out there that say they don't. And maybe they don't. But white people make up what, like 15% of the world? Something like that? And it seems to me there's only one fucking word that one group of people can't use because it's the naughty, naughty, hurtful word. I mean, look at the Chinese. They're racist as all fuck. Look at black people themselves. They can't go 3 fucking seconds without saying the word. But for some reason, if this naughty, naughty sound escapes the mouth of a white person, they're a despicable racist. How about her actual opinions? Does she think that black people at their core are lesser than white people? Does she have any actual racist views? I mean, maybe she does. Like I said, I don't know her. But this idea that if a certain set of syllables escapes your mouth, then you are a despicable racist is really getting old. But I love the way she's just like, yeah, I say it, fuck you, what are you gonna do? It did make me chuckle.
Okay, I do want to simply say that I intended to keep this channel from using the F word and relatively clean. The F word as in not the gay F word, but the actual F word, which is what Bering has destroyed this video for me and YouTube. He has literally let it rip with so many F-bombs. I guess those could be the F-bombs, and then the gay one could be the F word. I don't know. Anyway, he's thrown in the word fuck so much, he's ruined this video entirely. Trying to keep a clean show, Bering. What are you doing? And the funny thing is, he then bleeps the C-U-N-T word. Because apparently that's too much for YouTube. Anyway.
You might say it made me snigger.
He sniggered at all these naggers. These ginger naggers are so annoying that he sniggered at them.
Now, she does end up like owning the word racist, but I think it's like out of a racist apathy sort of thing. Like, if you want to call me racist, sure, okay, whatever. Fuck you, I'm racist.
You use the M word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Are you?
Some would say I am, I guess.
I see this part. I think she should have actually been a bit more smart about this, rather than just simply capitulating to Piers Morgan's righteous indignation. Other than you're a despicable racist. No, you should have said, no, I'm not a racist. Actually, Piers, I just use words, and this word is just a word like any other word, and it's not because I want to be racist towards people. It's because I want to let the black community know that this isn't their special word. They don't get to have special words that other people can't use. It's a word, and I will use it as freely as I wish because I have free speech in this country. That's what she should have said. She should have. I mean, she kind of does clarify later about the fact that she's a Christian and she believes everyone has the same value. And yeah, fair enough. She should have said that as well, but she shouldn't have accepted the racist claim. She should have said, no, I'm not a racist. I'm just using a word, and that's all it is. But my actions are not of a racist person because I accept all people. I deal with all people, and I commune with all types of people. That's really where she should have gone. But I guess in the heat of the moment and whatever, you have to just go with what you got. And yeah, I mean, this woman in the red, she has that look the entire interview. Even when I've seen this entire interview. Even when she's talking, she has that face the whole time. I don't even know why. I don't even know what that is. I don't know if you guys can zoom in, or I can't really zoom in on this because if I zoom in, it'll just, she'll disappear. But yeah, that woman just has that look the entire time. And I don't know, I guess she figured if she just holds that facial expression, it is neither positive nor negative. She can hold the neutral ground and just simply get out of this interview without her entire career tanking, because she actually writes for, I think, the Washington Post or New York Times or some major publication.
According to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, well, if you use the M word repeatedly, you are a racist, then, are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that means forwarding.
You see, that's it. That's the problem. She shouldn't have accepted that. Using the N word doesn't make you a racist. Depending on the context that you use it and how you use it. What's it called? George Carlin has used it. What's the other comedian's name? Damn it. Oh my God, one of my favorite comedians, Louis C.K. He uses it. Many other comedians have used it. Many comedians on stage have used the N-word, and they're not black, white people who've used the N-word. When Leonardo DiCaprio used the N-word in Django Unchained, is he a racist now because he used the word? You see, I hate the fact that she didn't smack him down on the fact that using a word doesn't make you a racist. Being a racist makes you a racist. Discriminating people on the basis of race makes you a racist. Using a word doesn't actually make you a racist. And she didn't really, she sort of just accepted his framing. That if you use a word is racist, she should have just turned around and say, well, how about all the white people in comedy and films that have used the N-word? How about Leonardo DiCaprio? Is he a racist? He used the N-word in Django Unchained. The fact is, context matter.
Helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, which, by the way, Shiloh Hendricks is being attacked on all fronts. They're trying to bring legal charges against her. They're trying to get her children taken away. So you were saying, Carmelo Anthony, it doesn't matter. That's a different.
Sorry, but just to be
thing.
clear, you just said to me you use the N-word regularly. In what context? Do you use it with black people?
Yes, if it's appropriate.
So Piers just keeps going off his tits, flinging racism accusations at her, and she actually clarifies her position. Now, this is interesting.
Just to be clear, I called you a racist because you openly, proudly admitted you're a racist. So it wasn't a question of exposing you or pointing my finger or trying to get this out of you. You proudly sat there, bold as brass, and said, yeah, I use the N-word all the time against black people. I'm a racist and I'm proud of it. That's what you did.
Racism is just having a preference. I prefer not to live around black people. I prefer not to live in a country where white people in our country are disproportionately attacked by black people. Where in my country, you can have an Austin Metcalf where he asks a guy to leave and he gets stabbed in the heart. I prefer that. That's a preference. Now, what a real racist is, in my opinion, is seeing someone as less human. I'm a Christian. I believe everyone's created in God's image. So I don't see anyone as less human. But that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to have a preference and say, I don't like what happens to be coming out of this community or that community. How is that a bad thing? How is that not just a preference?
Well, because you see, dear, you said the two syllables. You said the two syllables you're not allowed to say. I mean, you can explain your position all you like, but if those two syllables fall out of the wrong orifice, you are a fucking racist. Now, just to clarify my position, I think calling people the N-word is like a dick move. You probably shouldn't do it, but you probably shouldn't call people either. I don't, however, think that uttering those two syllables should be like an instant condemnation to hell as like some racist scum, and that's kind of what it's treated as. For a word that's used so widely by the black community, it's kind of ridiculous. Now, it's this next bit that caught my attention. Pierce is like, okay then, if you're so racist, why don't you say the word? Say the N-word. And just watch this black dude blow up. It's glorious. And by glorious, I mean super duper cringe.
Say the N-word, go on.
No. Don't invite. No. I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me, because I'm the only on here.
Oh, I don't want that terrible, horrible racist word said on here, because I'm the only on this here show. For fuck's sake. Look at Myron Gaines just sitting there like, fucking turn it up, mate. If the syllables hurt you that much, why would you say it yourself? It's performative outrage. Lily's just pissing herself. I don't know what this bitch is doing. She's fucking lobotomized. But
That's it. That was the bit. Let me rewind it.
Outrage. Lily's just pissing herself. I don't know what this bitch is doing.
This is the look that woman held that entire time. She literally, her facial expression did not change that entire time. Even when she was talking, she was still holding this face. I think this is a look of a person who's calculating how to save her career. I am not joking. I don't think she knew what this panel was. She just heard Piers Morgan wants to have her on a panel, and she's like, friggin' hell, the dude's like, famous globally, although he's a piece of crap and I despise him, but he's famous, and his channel has his YouTube channel has 3 million subscribers. And this is going to be a global event for sure. I mean, definitely millions of people are going to see it at some point. She didn't think it would be that many people because this shit has gone viral and insane. But when she got on there and she realized what this was and how this is turning out, she's just, how can I leave the show and still have a career in media, in left-wing media circles? Because whatever I say, whatever I do, there are so many minds that I could step on. Just shut up. Just shut up and keep a neutral face. Don't smile. Don't frown. Don't take sides. Just remain as neutral as possible. I mean, she literally has that neutral emoji mouth.
Doing. She's fucking lobotomized. But let's let him go.
So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word, because that's basically what it's going to be.
No, he just said say the N-word. He didn't say call this motherfucker an N-word. Like, are you offended at the word bigger or snigger or rigger? Do those syllables offend you so, or does it have to strictly have an N at the start? I mean, fucking hell, talk about crocodile tears.
There's a bunch of white people.
We could. I guess you could refer to the certain people as the riggers of us. A jigger. Oh, jigger. There's another one actually. The jigger. My jigger. Actually, in fact, I've used my jigger several times with friends because I can't say the other one. So we just my jigger. What's up, my jigger? And rigger. What's up, my bigger? That might work.
Up here, you and one Uncle Tom on the left here, and asking her to say the N-word.
Oh, by the way, that Myron Gaines, that's his favorite little gun that he has, which he uses on like crazy streams he's done. I mean, don't get me wrong, Myron is a problematic individual. He's done some insane crap. And that's why they got demonetized off YouTube, because of his idiotic stuff that he done on Rumble. Although he thought he's safe because he's not doing it on YouTube, but YouTube, you know, they monitor all of these things. Obviously, your actions off and on the panel, off and on the platform is still going to take effect, especially if you're a massive YouTube channel like Myron is, you know, over 1 million subs on YouTube. So if you're over 1 million sub, the things you do outside of YouTube are still going to affect your YouTube. I'm sorry, that's the way it is, because the bottom line is that people are going to take, you know, YouTube and advertisers are not just going to go, oh, Myron, oh, he hasn't said anything terrible on YouTube, although he goes to KKK rallies and posts them on Rumble every week. I mean, it's not like it's not just you're not just safe just because you didn't say it on YouTube. We know that. This is, in fact, how Patreon has operated for many years now. They call it manifest some bullshit. They've made some term for it in order to excuse the fact that they will ban you from Patreon if you've done things on other platforms. So no, it's not the things you do on the platform that matters. Not up to a certain size. If you're a nobody, then yeah, I can say, you know, wigger, jigger, nagger all day long on YouTube, and Patreon will still accept me because I'm a nobody. Nobody knows what the hell I've said. But if I am 1 million subs in and then I say the N-word, then yeah, Patreon will take note. And it's the same with YouTube. If you're on other platforms and you're running your mouth, it's going to affect you if you have a big YouTube channel. And that's why Myron, by the way, yeah, I just want to point out, that's a gun. And it's got like one of those comedy guns where you fire and a flag falls out and usually says bang. Well, his particular one is a modified one that says the N-word. Let's leave it at that.
While I'm here is ridiculous.
Oh, look at the irony as well, and people have pointed this out, the irony of the Piers Morgan show uncensored. It literally says Piers Morgan uncensored, comment hashtag uncensored, and he has censored the image. I mean, it's amazing. Piers Morgan himself doesn't recognize the irony of uncensored, and you have to censor the thing on uncensored. That's why everybody knows Piers Morgan is full of shit.
You would not sit here.
I've got no idea what Myron Gaines is holding up there, but it's pretty ironic.
It's a flag. It's a little gun with a flag, and it says Nagger. It says ninja.
That it's censored. I mean, the black dude's N-word was censored as well. This is Piers Morgan uncensored.
You would not sit here with a Jewish person and say, please use a Jewish slur in front of this Jewish. It's ridiculous. I understand you don't have any bad intent, Piers. I understand what you're.
I like the fact that he goes to the Jews because he thinks that all the white people are afraid of calling Jews names. They're not. Believe me, there's lots of. Go and look at Shyla Hendrix's comment section on Give, Send, and Go. Give, Send, Go, and see how they're not. They're not. They're not afraid. Half the names for the donations were like HH or 1488 or ridiculous crap like that. Like Nazis just came out of the woodworks like cockroaches with that Give, Send, and Go, with that fundraiser of Shyla's. Look, I don't fundamentally agree with Shyla and her. She's trailer trash. She's a chav, and she's a classless lady, of course. But the fact is that this is not about her. This is about just giving you the middle finger to you, blackety black. I'm black yo. I'm black yo. I'm blackety black and black yo. That type of attitude. That's what this is. This is about giving you the middle finger because you've annoyed people for so long, because you are annoying. A lot of you are just annoying with this N-word BS, and how you have a special place for it, and you can use. I came across, what do you call it, Dr. Dre, and I came across Friday Ding, ding, ring, ding, dong. You know, it's, haha, it's Friday. And the amount of times that man uses the N word, I just suddenly caught myself like, holy shit, there is a lot of N word in this song. It's because I had my girlfriend in the car, and admittedly, she doesn't understand half the words because she doesn't speak English that well. But I just quickly had to change the song because I think there's a little bit too many N words in this one.
Trying to do, but we already know she's
I hear
racist,
you.
and I don't want to invite a racial harm to me.
I
to
hear
prove
you.
it.
I hear you, and I accept that, and we'll leave it there.
Oh, so Piers just caves. I mean, he could have said, hey, listen, shut the fuck up. Grow up, it's a fuck word. I mean, I don't know this guy, but I bet he's used the word cracker before. He uses the N word himself. Performative outrage. The person on this panel that makes the most sense is, in fact, Myron Gaines. Here he is here.
Everybody is racist to some degree. The reality is, it depends on, a lot of people want to be politically correct. A lot of people want to sit there and say, I'm not racist at all. We all have biases. We all have stereotypes. We all make jokes. We all are racist to some degree. Now, how racist you are is a whole other situation, but everyone is racist. That's number one. Next thing I want to say, see, I think this Shiloh Hendricks and Metcalf situation is a microcosm of a much bigger problem. And that bigger problem is what I call systemic organizing. And what I mean by this is, for decades, we've had black people literally running around with black supremacy, committing crimes, not getting accountability for their actions, and then they blame the system for it. For example, George Floyd, criminal. Ferguson, criminals. Freddie Gray, criminal. A lot of these people are criminals, and what ends up happening is they challenge a police officer, they get into a physical altercation, things go left, they die, something happens, use of force is utilized, and then they want to cry about the result, when in reality, it's not the police killing black people, it's black people killing black people. And if you want to talk about black on white violence, black people kill white people 2 times as much. And on top of that, most of the shootings in America, a lot of the times, are white people killing, white cops killing other unarmed white men. So this whole systemic racism or police brutality, or, oh, it's all so messed up. The reality is this. Black people have been able to get away with a ridiculous amount of privilege in America for a very long time. They're able to be racist with impunity. They're able to call white people crackers without being challenged back. And quite frankly, white America's had enough of it, and the chickens have come to roost.
You can't say that. You can't say that. You are Uncle Tom, motherfucker. You ain't no good at all. Motherfucker be sitting here defending white people.
Well said, Myron. Anyway, to sum up, I think too much weight is put in these 2 fucking syllables. I mean, like I said, there's no other 2 syllables that offend people so much. The natives here in Australia get all pissed off when you say abo. But again, it's performative outrage. Australians just affix an O to fucking anything. Like, I'm gonna go fill up my car at the servo, then stop and get some beers at the bottle-o, then go pick up my mate Davo. You know, it's just 2 syllables. But I guess white people are just like too fragile to understand that. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. I thought I'd chat about it. If you have any comments, leave them down below.
All right. Yes, this is Bearing. I'm going to post Bearing's channel as well to give Bearing credit because he is awesome. If you don't know about Bearing, you should go check out The Big Bear. So yeah, that's my little couple of videos I want to play in regards to black fatigue and what I mean about it, and what Mark Dice was alluding to, and in a way what Bearing was also alluding to, this performative outrage of bollocks, basically. So the panel is open for those of you who wish to jump on and join us. So feel free. Come on up if you wish. If not, I may actually just jump on another panel and stream me on another panel if nobody jumps on. But if somebody jumps on and wants to have a chat about this or this mostly, not any other topic. I was about to say this or any other topic. No. I got to keep you mofos down to like a limited number of things to talk about, because we always end up circling round at some point back to Israel and Palestine. I want to this is an experiment. I want to see how many hours or how long really we can go discussing a topic without ending up Hitler, Jews, Palestine, Israel. Let us see how we can do this. A challenge to you all, because it's easy for me. I can talk about black fatigue. I can talk about American blacks, British Afro-Caribbeans, Windrush people. But I want to see how long the audience can actually go without ending up on the topic of Hitler, Jews, Palestine, Israel. The challenge, the field is now open to you one and all. Aha! And we have our first customer. Hello, madam. How are you?
Hola, señor. How
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Bien.
Bien, muy bien. Muy bien. Nice, nice. I like it. I like the fact you went for the bien. I thought you were just going to break into English afterwards. Like, that's the end of my Spanish. Hola. So.
Hola, sí.
See. Yes, definitely see. I see things. So, Madam Lieutenant, by the way, for everyone who doesn't know, maybe some of you are new, this is Lieutenant. She is the founder of the Lieutenant Productions, I believe. Is that correct? Am I right?
Is that what I'm calling it? Okay.
I thought that's what it was. It was Lieutenant. What was the production? What was your production? Your thing? Your music.
Well, I make music, don't I? So
yeah, but what's your name of your channel?
I've become a music producer, very unemployed music producer.
Very,
yeah.
Commission based.
My channel is LTG, or I've been posting the link at look2-god on YouTube. I've got a Rumble account as well.
You couldn't think of like a simpler name for your channel? LTG look-to-god. That's the shortest thing you could come up with.
Look-to-god is the shortest I could come up with. Listen, it used to be whoever I want to be.
Oh my God!
I know. I've only ever had the
key
one
thing about
YouTube
names.
account, but I've had to change the name a few times until I got this one, which is the shortest I could think of, and it works.
Yeah. That's still way too long. And now, is this look to God? Is all one word or dashes or things in between it? Oh, there it is, right?
Just
Lieutenant.
Look-to-God.
Oh, I see. At look to and then -God. Oh, I see. Look to -God. Yes. I mean, it's got, people are gonna abbreviate it to LTG, but of course, that is what you are. You're LTG, but LTG was taken. I take it that you couldn't do it.
Well, no. I mean, it tied in with it because LTG comes from Lieutenant General, which is like in the big nose of London's rankings amongst all these moderators. He gave us all rankings, and that's what I ended up with. So that's how Lieutenant General came about.
I see. You ended up as Lieutenant because of, but that wasn't the name you originally started with then in your.
No. I was whoever I want to be.
Oh, I see. That was your original nick.
That was very long.
That is very long for everyone ever. I had Hafez Reflex and I had to change that to just Hafez TV because that was too long. Hafez Reflex was too long. Now Hafez is a bit of an awkward name. I know it's not exactly, doesn't roll off the tongue with English people, but Hafez TV at least is manageable. Whilst Hafez Reflex was just way too long for these people. Although, don't get me wrong, there's the critical drinker, and everybody kind of has picked up on that now. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, hell, that name managed to stick. But then you did have to do some great movies for that to happen. Okay, so
Critical Drinker.
Yeah, the Critical Drink is awesome. His videos are very well made and extremely funny. But let's get back to black fatigue. Do you feel fatigued by the black issues of the day, or generally do you feel the black fatigue? Is it the same in the UK, or is it different? This sense of fatigue, as I said, as I described it in my opening monologue, I call it more foreigner fatigue than anything else. It's just immigrant fatigue, or not even immigrant. Yeah, I guess you could say immigrant fatigue, but really foreigner fatigue, because it's not just the black community that I'm just fatigued about. It's the Muslim community. It's all the crime, all that shit.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's basically the non-indigenous and those white of this land fatigue. So anyone that isn't of here, like for hundreds and hundreds of years, okay, has some, very few, but a lot of them have some kind of chip on their shoulder, and they've come here because we owe them. Which basically, when you boil it down, when you break it down, is an act of war.
It's a covert
and it's
act
illegal.
of invasion.
That attitude, right? It's they're taking revenge, right? They're even probably going against their own country, their own homeland's policies by doing so. But when you break down that attitude, it's an act of war. What they're
I
doing.
mean, in a weird, absolutely.
And it's atrocious. Like, I would never go to another country with that attitude.
Well, it all really depends on what that country's done to you. I can wager that maybe in the years to come, if China or other countries do similar sort of things to the Europeans, or even in fact Muslim countries raise their population to become very prosperous, and the Europe just collapses and becomes a deprived nation of starving people, they'll blame the Muslims and they'll go over there and they'll do it over there. I don't know. I honestly don't know how the response is going to be.
Think about it though, Banksy, they're already doing that, right? All those other countries are already going around the world doing those things, and people don't go into their countries. Seeking revenge, retaliate.
But I mean, okay, let's give an example. Who do you mean? Let's start with one example.
Are you doing devil's advocate?
No. I'm just looking at this to see. Okay, you saying that those countries are already doing that. Which country is doing it? Pick one, and then we'll explore why that country is doing what it's doing. Which country is doing what?
Well, China's making our way through Africa.
China, good example. What is China's immigration policy? It's extremely harsh, right? And not only that, it's an extremely dictatorial country. Nobody wants to live in China. So China isn't going to get a mass immigration influx from the Middle East or from Africa, because it's hard. First of all, it's impossible for them to get in, or not impossible, but hard for them to get in, to get a visa to stay, and they'll probably never get Chinese citizenship. I don't know about what Chinese citizenship laws are like, I'll be perfectly honest, but let's be honest, I don't think they're as easy as I mean, what kind of benefit system you think they're going to get in China? If a Somali goes to China, you think they're going to get a benefit system? They're going to be able to leech off their medical health care? They're going to be able to leech off the government for housing and other things, some pocket money? You think they're going to be put up in 4-star hotels? No. So they're not going to. China may have aggressive foreign policies, but nobody's going to China for so-called revenge, because China won't let them. Simply.
Well, regardless of that, however many people are going there, whether they're legal or illegal, none of them go there with such an attitude. That's
but
they come here, whether they're legal or illegal, with such an attitude.
Yeah, but that's because they can. That's the main crux of it. They don't. They can go to China even with bad intentions, and they won't be able to achieve anything, because they'll find themselves in a massive surveillance state, with social credit, with face recognition technology all over the place, and they're just basically clamped down. And the fact that they will never be able to get a visa and become really become a citizen, because they just won't let them. Same with Japan, believe it or not. Japan is kind of like that. It's incredible. I had a friend of mine. He went to Japan years and years ago, many years ago, and met a girl there, a Filipino girl. She became pregnant and had a child. That child never left Japan until he was like 23 or 24. He never left Japan his entire life because he was not a citizen, and he had no visa status. He was literally illegal because both his father and his mother were from foreign backgrounds who were not citizens. So that kid had no passport, nothing, until he was like 23, 24. He got married to a Japanese woman and had a child from that Japanese woman. Then he got citizenship. That's the only way you can get citizenship in Japan. It's incredibly difficult to get citizenship. So no, these Somalis are not flocking. Now there are lots of Iranians, Middle Easterners, Indians, and Pakistanis that do go to Japan to work for short-term visas, but they hate them and they treat them like crap. My friend can tell you all about it. He was there for years. He could speak. He could sing Japanese. Literally, he was karaoke singing Japanese. His Japanese is pretty good. And yeah, he was there for years. But he says, yeah, they treat us like shit. We are, there's an area of town which all the Middle East, where a lot of the Iranians hang out, and they hate that part of town. The Japanese hate it. They don't, they sometimes don't even let them in certain shops, certain areas. Yeah, the Japanese are violently racist, and you feel it. It's not like it's hidden or anything. They're not friendly to foreigners. And in fact, recently, with the stent of all these asshole live streamers who go to Japan and behave like dipshits in order to get views and likes, they hate foreigners even more, even American foreigners, because there's a whole bunch of these asshole Americans, or at least like American citizens, shall we say. These guys were like Somalis and other places, but generally asshole Americans go there entitled. And now that same guy, I think, what was his name? Johnny Somali or some shit. I followed this like saga of this idiot. He went around the world acting like a dipshit, and he got away with it in Japan. But he went to Korea, and they found him, and every time they would locate where he is, because he does like live streams on the streets, they would find him and then beat him up. They would just track him down and punch the shit out of him because he was an absolute dipshit. Now I think he's actually in prison in Korea waiting to be sentenced because he did several things that actually broke the law in Korea, where he harassed and abused servers in like restaurants or places and just acted, as I say, he was just a dipshit. Same with this other guy, Vitali. Now, where is he? I think he's in Vietnam or in Philippines. I think it's the Philippines, where he went and started doing the same bollocks, same abuse, stole a police officer's hat. He pretended to steal a police officer's motorbike and harassed and just generally acted like a dipshit with several security officers and various other people. He's potentially going to go down for 5 years. Potentially, might even be 20. There's even talks of it could be 20 years that he could get a sentence, but there's a good chance he'll get at least 2 or 3 years in prison in Philippines for this shit. So yeah, these countries, they don't mess around. They're not Europe. They're not soft touches. So that's the reason why these other countries.
I think about yeah.
Sorry, go on.
I mean, about things like that, they might not be soft, but they're soft on some of the things that they really should be tough on. Like, there's a huge amount of human trafficking goes on in those places, like say Philippines and Thailand, and that like child sex trafficking capitals of the world.
Oh yeah. I mean, they've got.
They put on immigration, but their legal systems.
Yeah. But what I mean is,
terribly
when we
up.
circle it back to like these people coming to countries like Britain and Europe for revenge for like colonialism or past, the indiscretions.
Yeah,
it's because they can and they are allowed to. Whilst in Eastern countries, Eastern Asia and China or Japan, they're just not allowed to. They don't give them visas. They don't give them citizenship. You don't just get Kuwait, even the Middle East, Kuwait, Dubai, Arab Emirates, nations, Saudi Arabia. You can't become a citizen there. You know how incredibly wonderful it is to come to Europe, go to Germany, go to Britain, go to Sweden, and after 5 or 6 years, after you get some kind of immigration or asylum case granted, you can apply for citizenship. I have never underestimated how incredibly generous that process was and is. The fact that in this part of the world, and in America to some extent, but America's a little bit harder, and the same with Canada, that you can become a citizen of these nations. They will accept you as one of their own, essentially, after a mere 5 years of being in this country, mere 5 or 6 years. Now, okay, sure, they've now made it a little bit harder. You have to do some testing. You have to have an English test. They're apparently trying to make that English test a little bit harder. That's just Keir Starmer gaslighting the British public anyway. That's because they're scared shitless of reform. So they're doing this because they want to sort of try to somehow appease the middle ground with reform, nipping at their heel. But the reality is that it is incredibly wonderful. This is what I say when I say that the Europeans are wonderful people on so many levels. The fact that you would take in a mediocre piece of crap like me and actually make me one of your own and give me a passport so that I can travel the world under the British banner and have all these wonderful opportunities. That is a great thing. No other country, no rich country affords you that. Yeah, sure, you can go and get a passport in Somalia, but it's not worth the paper you can wipe your ass with. Nobody gives a shit about a Somali passport, citizenship. Nobody gives a shit about an Iranian citizenship. So yeah, nobody cares about the passport of these loser nations because nobody wants to. Everywhere you have to go. You know how much paperwork you have to do when you want to travel with an Iranian passport? Oh my God, it's like that thick. It's like war and peace. The thickness of the paperwork you have to fill out in order to get anywhere, to get a visa anywhere. So
going back to the kind of people that are coming in with that attitude, right? Legal and illegal. When you look at where they come from, okay, they're not coming from a bad place, and most of the people in those places that they're coming from stay there. They want to live there with their family, their friends for generations. They're more than happy to be there. So it's not, I don't think it does actually boil down to we've wronged these people. I think that's just used as an excuse for them to get their foot
that's used
in
by the
door.
left, actually.
I do think they're actually coming here because they've got no place where they're from because they're so bad.
Exactly.
Like those countries are glad to see the back of them.
Yes, some of them are actively sending them out. They're just telling them, kind of nudging them out of the country because they're like, look, you're god awful. We can't afford to just put you in prison for decades on end. Why don't you try Europe? Europe's a nice place. You know, they'll give you all these benefits. I'm not joking. I'm not. And there's some of the people. Some people say, you know, if you want to get into conspiracy theories, that there are nefarious groups and NGOs who are actively trying to flood Europe with all of these people. And not I mean, there's like multiple levels of things happening all at once. There's a bunch of people who are just dicks and their countries don't want them, so their countries are pushing them towards like go and live in Europe. Then there's a group of people who are genuinely like persecuted because of their religion or their political views or whatever, who are genuine. Then there's a group of people who come out as students or whatever. And in all honesty, I mean, Jupiter was talking about it. I was on a panel the other day, earlier on today, and she was saying, if someone comes here and does a 4-year degree and actually qualifies in something, and being able to study degrees in England obviously means you have a reasonably high IQ and you are reasonably well educated and you can speak English because you won't be able to do the tests and pass the English. So all of those benefits come with someone who does a degree. If someone does a degree in Britain and then wants to stay, that's one of the top tier people that you want to stay, because most likely they're going to be doing, they're going to go into careers and work that is necessary or needed and is beneficial to this country. But dipshits who come and work for Uber Eats, I'll be honest, I don't need more Uber Eats drivers. I don't need more Uber drivers. I don't need Deliveroo drivers. I'm pretty sure we've met that quota. We're good. We're good on that one.
We did all right for thousands. We did all right for thousands of years without any of that nonsense. In fact, we had less obesity without any of that nonsense. Like with regards to skill levels, like even the highly skilled people, if we invested in our own, we wouldn't even need those. And they only make up maximum 5% of all immigration anyway. 95% are detrimental to us. Legal and illegal, that includes. The OBR came out with that in September, the Office of Budget and Responsibility. And usually they're singing the diversity is our strength mantra, but they actually came out with some truth in September.
Yeah. So this is what I mean. I just want to read a couple of comments. Sorry, Lieutenant. When NWA came out, us whites bought all their music. They loved us saying it. I'm not sure whether they loved everyone saying the N-word, but yeah, NWA was massive. I mean, literally the the acronym stands for Ninjas with Attitude. Naggers with Attitude. That's what it stands for. Well, you know.
Isn't it so bad that we actually have to self-censor in a world in which
Yeah,
we're
look,
supposed to be
if I said that
grown-ass
in word, but see, the
adults
thing is, I will
and
explain
free?
why I don't say it myself. It's because I don't want to upset my own black friends, because I have black friends who occasionally watch my stuff, and they're dear to me, and I like them, and they're my best, some of my closest friends, and I don't want to just to be edgy on the internet to say something that they're like, that was a dick move. I don't want that because they're my friends. Because I actually have. I'm not one of those people who says I have black friends. I actually have black friends. And I don't want to.
Yes.
I don't want to say something that they might not. They might feel a little bit way about it or just off. And it's like, it's not an end of the world if I don't say it. And it's a word that I don't even like. I actually prefer if that word dies. That just dies. Like, certain words in the English language just get stopped being used from like Latin words or Shakespearean words or whatever. That word can go that way. They can just go the way of the dodo bird and just go extinct. But the American blacks are the ones who won't let it. It's the American black communities that throw this out all the time and shove it down our throats.
You see, there's a lot of money in political activism. If there wasn't a problem, what are they going to get paid for shouting about? So they have to create a problem. They have to keep the fire burning.
Yeah, because the grifters benefit a lot out of that as well. What's this? CCD says the fact that YouTube banned us from saying the word JEWW should tell you what the real problem is. Well, I don't know if you banned from saying the JW word, but the blues is another one. But the fact is that if you say it constantly, because I hear other YouTubers say the word blues, the J word, but they don't get. I don't know what kind of punishment they get. I do know some channels, as I say, if they're derogatory about it or they're talking about it in a bad way. This is why they use the term Zionist now. You see, Zionist has replaced. These are euphemisms. This everything about Israel is essentially euphemism about the Jews, the blues, the small hat people. It's all euphemisms. I swear that's how they refer to them. The small hats, the blues, Zionists, Israel. These are all euphemistic words for that group of people because they don't want to say what they actually think about that group. Anyone now, for me, anyone who comes and starts bitching about Zionists, I'm like, you just hate this group of people, dude. I know you're bitching up, you're using the term Zionist, but I know what you mean, and believe me, I know who you're talking about, and you hate these people, and you just don't want to say it because it's like the N word for you. What's this say? What does Roman say? Do your black friends say it? Actually, no, Roman. My black friends in Britain, no, they don't use the N word. It's not a thing over here, at least from my experience. I've had friends from Ghana. I've had friends from Nigeria. My friends that are like my closest friends right now are mixed anyway. French and Jamaican mix, and I forgot. I think one of them is Nigerian, Jamaican or Caribbean mix. No, nobody uses it. Nobody talks about it. It's not a thing for us. Even I've had friends who were hip hop producers, made. They knew Westwood and all these guys from the radio shows. They were hip hop producers, and they still don't. Even if you listen to British hip hop, you don't hear the N word. You really don't. What's his name? What's that guy's name? That one who had a. Oh Christ, Lieutenant. Do you listen to hip hop? I guess you don't. I don't know.
No.
Well, there was a. There was a guy who had Banksy make a bulletproof or knife-proof vest for him. Damn, I forgot his name. Anyway, he's like a famous drill or whatever rapper. Even drill music. If you listen to British drill music, they don't use the N-word. This is a very almost exclusive American Black American kind of thing. Jamaicans don't mind the N-word, but don't say.
Well, when you look at the origin of the word, it's not a racist thing. What's happened is a handful of people, let's say, have used it like they've been insulting towards someone. So it's not been the use of the word, it's what someone's conduct has been, right? That hasn't been called out properly. And so now you can't use this word because they didn't call out and isolate and nip it in the bud properly in the first place. There shouldn't be any problem with using any word. The word Nigger comes from the word Negro, which is a Hispanic word. It's Latin. It's Spanish
for the color black. Yeah, absolutely. They still use it in Spanish.
And all it's doing is supposed to refer to, the pigmentation of someone's skin. So, okay, if we don't want to go there, why not just be factual? Someone I know has a lot more melanin in their skin than me. Okay, no problem. If it's all about like, I can't see that color.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean it's.
I think it's very tyrannical the way people get on bandwagons about it, no matter how much melanin they have or have not got in their skin. There's people from all over the place that are tyrannical about this, and it's just not fair. Like, speech is merely an expression of your thoughts. If you can't express your thoughts, you're never going to develop.
This is actually...
Okay, so if someone's limiting your speech, they're limiting your mind, your thoughts, 100%. And that is criminal. It's totally out of order. Like, I'll respect anyone's rules on their YouTube channel, but when it comes to mine, say what the F you want. Like, I'm not playing that game because I think it's terrible. I think it's psychological abuse, it's emotional abuse, it leads to spiritual abuse, it can lead to financial abuse. The way people go on with each other, it just spirals out of control into all of the abuses and neglect of the human condition and how we need to be addressing it and growing together.
Absolutely. No, it's actually, you're right. Jordan Peterson said it as well. The fact is, words are the method to your thoughts. You use words to think of things, or you think of things and you use words to express them. And if you can't use certain words, after a while, you stop thinking certain things, because those things that those words apply to or relate to are things that you can't use the words anymore, so you stop thinking about those things. And that is exactly why words matter to the left so much. This is why they play all the word games, because they know that if they can control the words that you say, they can control the thoughts that you think. This was in 1984. This is in the book 1984. The Ministry of what was it? The Ministry of Thought, or no? It was the Ministry of damn it, I forgot the term for it. But yeah, that's how they did it. That's how they got people to say and do things the way they wanted to, because the ministry forced people to only use certain words. They were in fact rewriting the dictionary and making it smaller and smaller. So there was just a smaller and smaller amount of words you could use as you went along.
Well, we see them doing that today. Look at the state of the Merriam-Webster. But CCD makes a great point there. I'll just quote that. He says, if a black person gets upset, the power of the word remains with the whites. It would make more sense to laugh at them, take the power away. Now, this is precisely why they've gone after the comedy industry. They're destroying comedy because they know that when we laugh, we can all connect with each other and get on board with something in a much more peaceful way. They don't want that. They want total control. And it's all about breaking up communities, divide and conquer, breaking up families, breaking everyone. So absolutely every individual goes straight to the state, no one else. And that's when they've got total control.
It was the Ministry of Truth was the actual organization that they used. The funny thing is, you see, this is where I become, I guess you could say maybe conspiratorial, but generally a little bit disillusioned with the current, because everybody thinks that Trump, and I've never been an all Trumper, like all in with the whole Trump thing. I see Trump as a stepping stone to potentially regaining sanity back in the Western world, but I certainly don't see him as any major level of like any real savior, that's going to deify him. And I always have this little thing in the back of my mind that Trump is just another manner of control. He is just the means of control in another way by the overall system, because Trump went ahead and created, after he got kicked out of Twitter and all of that, he went ahead and I guess with people organizing it, created the Truth Social. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that word truth kind of stuck in my head, and I was like, and I think it was because it was like subconsciously I was thinking about the Ministry of Truth from 1984. So anyone who comes and tells you that I am the arbiter of truth, that this is the way that I always have huge reservations for anyone who makes these sort of claims. The minute someone comes and tells me I have the truth, I'm like, okay, you're full of shit. Now let's find out why you're full of shit. I just immediately dismiss
Trump
them.
knows what he's doing with. Do you not think he knows what he's doing with regards to using the word truth, though? Like, it just hits it home to people because people were already starting to talk more and more about 1984, the Ministry of Truth and all of this. And he does that. It wakes a lot more people up. He's not a stupid man. Yeah. He's never touched a drop in his life. He's never touched a drug in his life. He's been ill twice in his life.
Well, I don't know if he's only been ill twice in
He
his
is
life.
not
I think that's
man.
come
No.
on. That's a bit of an Kimmel sung kind of a claim.
Yeah, he's never had a cold.
Oh, come
he's
on.
never had a
Come
cold
on.
until the toxic cold that they called COVID.
I'm not buying that
Yeah.
one. I'm not buying the fact, and I'm not buying the fact that he never touched a drug. I think he took alcohol and drugs when he was young. It's just he just stopped because he's 80 odd years old. He probably stopped like a few decades ago. I don't believe that this man's gone to all these parties and he's never drank and he's never did drunk.
Because of an alcoholic older brother of his, who he witnessed destroy their own life at a very young age. He's never touched a drop.
Again, I will agree to disagree, or I will remain skeptical. I don't know if that claim is a bold claim. That is a very bold claim, to never have done alcohol or anything, any kind of drugs. But nevertheless, either way, yeah, I've always got these question marks about, like, when people say like this Ministry of the Truth Social and all of this sort of stuff. Although I don't know if I can get it or not, but I haven't managed to find how to actually even get a hold of Truth Social and actually get it, because last time I checked, this was a while back, on Google Play Store, it wasn't even available for UK citizens. So it was in like that early beta testing period. So I don't even know how I can even get this bloody thing.
Yeah, I think it might be now. I haven't bothered with it. Like, with regards to social media, I don't use apps. I prefer to just use the browser, even if it's in my phone. But I should imagine it would be available now, like after all these years now.
I say I'm not sure. Although Barnabas Midlife Bro Logic says that yes, his brother died from alcoholism. So possibly he may or may not. I don't know. I find it hard to believe that all these parties, all these things, all these places, all that in the 70s and the 80s, where he was partying probably the most, the hardest, with all of the drugs everybody was taking at that time, he did nothing. He just walked around sober, and all those Epstein parties, because he's been to Epstein parties for sure, because Epstein he's been in pictures.
Well, it's not like there wasn't loads of stuff going on that he had to be aware of that kept him occupied. It's not like he was just stood there bored because he wasn't getting high.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, it's true. Yeah, obviously,
We're talking about some seriously dangerous people that you've got to navigate through the circles of, right?
Well, I still find it hard. I don't know. I'm gonna remain in the skeptic sort of zone, but I neither condemn nor condone.
The skeptic skip.
Because I just can't. I find it hard unless I have good, solid, like, confirmation and evidence from people of that era where they were partying with Trump and they never saw him drink or never saw him smoke or do anything, then it's hard to say, because as I say, I mean, I don't know if you have ever seen anything on Studio 54, this notorious nightclub where Michael Jackson, what's her name, that woman whose daughter did oh man, what was her name, the woman who did that movie Wizard of Oz.
Right.
54. Yeah, I mean, anyway, there's like loads of videos of these guys in that studio back in the 60s, 70s, just drugs and alcohol, just cocaine, like everywhere, just everywhere. The devil's dandruff.
Yeah. Anything and everything that you want, you can have it.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's
not everyone does it.
54 nightclub. Yeah, Studio 54. Everybody did everything. Liza Minnelli, that's it. That's the name. I just remembered it. Sorry, did anyone put it in the text? No one put it in the text. But yeah, people like Liza Minnelli, freaking Michael Jackson at like a teenager. He was in that club. He wasn't like old. He was a freaking kid. And he was out hanging out with all those guys and all these other celebrities. They did a whole documentary. I think they even made a movie about that club. It was notorious. And you're telling me that someone like Trump, clubbing in the 80s, in the 70s, going out and about, just sober as a judge, walking around, I'm teetotal, I don't drink. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot of influences to people who are influencing you into doing all that stuff. Who lives in
what he saw his brother go through when he himself was growing up disgusted him and upset him so much so that he didn't partake in such activities.
I guess so. I mean, let's put it this way.
And
I got to give him some credit. The fact the man is 80 odd years old and he has unbelievable levels of energy. He was on that Joe Rogan podcast for like 2-3 hours. Then immediately from that, he went to some other podcast.
Yeah.
And he was doing that like several different podcasts a day. Not only just podcasts, but then he would do rallies. He would fly from here to there and do another rally there. And then at night he was in like the East Coast and the West Coast. I mean, just looking at this few years of campaigning that he did for his re-election, unbelievable levels of energy. I do 3 hours on this stupid thing and I'm done. I'm like, screw this, I need to sleep. Yeah. So like he was unbelievable that the amount of, I mean, where the hell did he get all this energy from? And I say, I would normally go straight to drugs, but if he doesn't do any of that stuff, then what the hell? You can't just do this on coffee.
He doesn't do any of that. He lives a perfectly healthy lifestyle. I think a lot of people think they're healthy, but obviously they can't be that healthy because their energy drains. So what are they doing that's not that healthy? The
fact is, I don't care if he's living on like nectars of unicorn semen. There's got to be some. It can't be just natural that he's 80 odd years old. He's not this is incredible to be that sort natural. Of spruce and lively.
If he was relying on substances and stuff like that, it would have knackered him.
Yeah, that's the other side. That's the flip side as well. If you were actually on that kind of thing, it would have destroyed you long before now. Man.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, sorry, he's not 80. I apologize. He's 78. I mean, he's knocking on the door of 80, but he is 78 years old. But still 78.
He wouldn't be able to do it if it was down to drugs.
Maybe they're just milking a unicorn
because
somewhere.
The impact that has on the human anatomy, the impact that has on the human anatomy. I don't care who you are, what your background is. It takes its
that
toll
is true. I mean,
quickly. Even
if he was even on the finest, purest devil's dandruff from Colombia, it would still destroy his body over time. It would break it down. Yeah, I mean maybe
and the brain. What?
But Lieutenant, maybe
Wow.
he has alien technology. Maybe there's some base somewhere where they're milking a unicorn,
Oh
or there's
my
a
God.
teat of a grey where they're just milking it slowly over years, and he's just drinking the grey's milk. You never know. You never.
So he's just
in the
been
milking.
milking the
He's
greys
living
all
off
this
milking
time.
the
Okay.
greys. He's milking the Anunnaki. He has a couple of Anunnakis with just giant breastises where they're just pumping them all day.
I wonder if it would be pure.
Oh, cherubin milk.
Bring on the cherubim.
Oh my god! Oh, you never know, man. You never know. Message was hidden. What some choose? Oh, I see. Yeah. I'm just thinking. You never know. You never know. If he's not doing regular drugs, he's doing some alien mysticism, or maybe it's black magic. Maybe maybe there's some virgin somewhere tied where they're performing devil, Satan's bidding, and he drinks the virgin juice, and he's.
No, because I mean, honestly, Africa would just be booming by now if you could put anything down to voodoo. That's where it
Actually, I
comes
heard
from, isn't it?
it's not Africa, it's Hades that voodoo comes from. At least that's what I heard. It actually.
Yeah, but originally,
came-
it got transferred, imported over there from West Africa, all across that sub-Saharan strip.
Oh,
Ghana
I see.
and all of that.
Okay, so it actually came from Africa, but then they did a lot of it in Haiti. All the slaves essentially like transported it over there.
Yeah, it still goes on in Ghana and in.
I know in Haiti, in Haiti, and you know Romero's zombie movies, George Romero's Day of the Dawn of the Dead. He got that from the voodoo stories, because voodoos are supposed to be able to resurrect the dead, and that's how he got.
Well,
Oh,
I
you
read
did.
a book.
Oh, do tell.
I did for the first time in my life. No, I read a book. It's called "The Serpent and the Rainbow," I think it is, and it's over there. Hang on a second. No, I won't. It's over there. So it's a truthful book. It's an account of this doctor guy who ends up delving into voodoo and finding out about all these practices, and no one actually dies and comes back as a zombie, but there is some kind of chemical thing that they can do to make this happen. Like you would appear dead, you would be buried, and then someone would be notified. They'll dig up the grave, right, and then set you free, and then you come back to life, right, because you come out of this, I don't know, potential coma sort of state, and then they let you go about town, and it's like, oh my god, he's come back to life, and all this. So they sensationalize it and all of that. So there is a thing where this happens, but it's not actually magic.
Oh, so it's
messing
I
about with
see. So it's a
saucy.
living person who they basically put into a status that almost looks like that they're dead, and then they come back, and then it's like, oh, it's voodoo, and they brought the dead back. Interesting.
Yeah. I'll hang on. I will get that book, because then I'll type the title and the author.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I've heard there are drugs actually that lower your heart rate to such an extent where it looks like you're dead, and the heartbeats and everything is so slow that it almost appears that you're dead. What's the difference between booze and weed? 5 drunk guys will start a fight. 5 stoned guys will start a band.
I think the stoners will just fight about who's got.
I know. No, it's true. It's true. I mean,
No, I went the last
Robin
night.
Williams
Fuck
actually
you.
did a great sketch on that. He's right. I mean, it's true though. People on weed are not violent people. You can't be. You're just too stoned to care. Violence doesn't even come into it. You just mess. And this is why he said, this is the thing. Like Jamaicans will never build a nuclear bomb. They might make a nuclear bong, but they'll never create a nuclear bomb. Because yeah, man, yeah, it's true. It's true. You just can't really. But the problem is, I know some people because weed can enhance whatever natural sort of mood you're in. So if you're already in a depressed mood, weed can actually make you more depressed. If you're already in a happy mood, weed will make you more happy. You'll start laughing and giggling uncontrollably. But if you're actually already a hyperactive person,
Yes.
it can actually make you quite hyper. So it all really depends. Also, it depends on how you consume your marijuana. If you eat it, apparently, although I've never had that experience, if you eat it, apparently it's very different to when you smoke it.
Oh yes.
But I don't know. I don't know because I've never
Yes, it is.
never done brownies or anything like that. I got to go to Amsterdam. I got to make one trip to Amsterdam and partake in some of those brownies up there. But
Well, if you do, don't pull one on one go, man. No.
just a tiny
small
little square.
space cakes. Honestly, like I know how to make them. Oh,
Oh,
I know how to
excellent.
make them and everything because I lived over there. Space cakes when I lived and I would go into Harlem and there was a couple of coffee
Nice.
shops that were me regulars. Amazing. Yeah, it is different when you eat it because it goes into the bloodstream more. But going back to what you were saying, like it does exacerbate what's already going on with you in the first place. But you need to take into account the frequency. It's not the quantity, it's the frequency, whether it's going to lead to any harm to your mind or not. That's what they've found. It's not the quantity, it's how often you're doing it. And then there's the stronger strains that aren't naturally developed.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. The
man's
skunk stuff
messing
and all
about
the
with,
other
like, these
crazy stuff.
the super skunks, yeah. And they're developing them with all these chemicals. So that and the frequency of using such strains is what's leading to psychosis in some people.
Makes actually CC.
So it's one because people say, "Oh, it's just a plant and all this." No, there's a lot that you need to take care of. Like just because, poppies are a plant, from that comes opium, and then they try to get you off that with other things, and then they try to get you off that with methadone. Do you know what I mean? And every time you're trying something else, it's just dirtier and dirtier and dirtier and more addictive. Like it's not good. There is no need for you to consume.
CCD says there's a drug that makes you
So,
susceptible to commands. I don't know. Wasn't that the thing that they called the truth drug at some point? There was like some kind of.
Oh, the truth serum. What was that again? It turned out that was just it wasn't that effective. They had to use that and various other methods, and it was really the
That
other
did the-
methods,
did the trick.
techniques that the psychological side of such agencies were using. That was more effective than the actual use of the serum itself.
But
I remember looking
yeah.
into that.
Either way, getting back to the white fatigue, black fatigue. Do you think that because again, every nation has their troublesome lot. Like, I don't know if Germany, because I think Germany suffers more from Turkish fatigue than they do from black fatigue. Like France has an Algerian problem and Moroccan, because Moroccans and Algerians were colonized by France. So they all speak French and they easily go to France because they can just, it's the language. There is no language barrier for them. But every nation in Europe has their particular group of troublesome lot. So I don't know if you could say like German has black fatigue. I think German probably has Turkish fatigue. Or France has probably Algerian and Moroccan fatigue. I don't know. But is there a thing? This is something actually CT, the guy who I go to frequent his site quite a bit, Chaotic Truth, he always talks about, does the black community, are they a special problematic lot in all European white communities, or are they no more issues than anyone else? Thoughts?
I think they're no more an issue than anyone else, right? I mean, you've got people with a lot of melanin in their skin all over the UK, and compared to London, you don't have those problems in other parts of the UK, okay, as what you have in London. There's a mindset in certain areas in London where the population is vast with regards to people with a lot of melanin in their skin, okay? And everyone influences each other, mankind, no matter how much melanin you've got in your skin. And there's a lot of people in those places that have got a chip on their shoulder, and that spreads, okay? And it's a shame. It upsets me because I see a lot of young people growing up with a stinking attitude, and I just think this poor kid's going to go nowhere, because who's going to want to give that one a job? Right? And that's nothing to do with the skin color. It's to do with the attitude.
So it's a cultural
the chip
thing. But
on
the
the
thing
shoulder.
is,
Like I try to challenge things like that, because I think no, this kid needs to not have that attitude. They need to have the best opportunity. Like they need to have the doors open to be able to flourish, no matter who they are, right? But it's not going to happen with an attitude like that. Like I've been in Telegram groups and I've been talking, and I can just tell straight away this is a young black kid from southeast London, and he's got this attitude of everyone in the rest of the world has got to understand him, and you can't make out what he's saying because they've got this weird dialect thing going on, right? You either understand him or you're excluded. Well, when he does that, he's excluding himself from the rest of the world. He's refusing to put in the effort that everyone else does to speak as clearly and concisely as possible and use words in the correct way with their definitions, do you know what I mean, in the context and all of that. No, he's just creating this whole bubble, and the rest of the world's expected to fit in that. Well, the rest of the world's, it's still spinning, and it's spinning waiting for him to join it, not the other way around. So he's isolating himself, and that's just one case where you've got a large population of one demographic, and there's a bad kind of rotten apple type attitude in there. It spreads, and when people aren't allowed to challenge that out of fear of being demonized as, say, for example, racist, then it's just gonna what's the word, like fester and fester. And we've seen that happen for generations.
I'm with you.
So I don't think it's like, you could apply that to any kind of people. Okay. So I don't think it's necessarily like we've got a black fatigue problem in this country. We've got a bad attitude problem.
Yeah.
In this country, and certain people from many different demographics are on. They're kind of like they're playing a victim card, right? They're using and they're abusing and they're licking and kicking to get ahead, as opposed to playing an honest role in our meritocratic system.
Okay, let me yeah, I mean, I agree with you to some extent that yes, this is a cultural it's based around the culture, although a lot of the cultures like do you know the girl Zubaida from Speaker's Corner, the one who attacked me?
Sounds familiar.
The fat girl.
Oh yes, I remember you pointed her out once. I didn't
But
actually look
what
at
I
her
mean is
stuff.
she and a lot of other sort of girls from other nations, from Algeria or Iraq or Iran or Egypt, Syria, whatever. They're not necessarily black. They don't come from a black culture, but they've adopted this street black culture in Britain. The roadman attitude and the roadman behavior, which came from black culture, really. Now, that's my thing, is that it could be that the black people who started these cultural behaviors have now infested, or it's been sort of like a social disease, social contagion, in which other people from other cultures are now adopting it. And I I put it to you, I think that some of this is actually even propagated or promoted, like rap and drill and all of these music and arts, which sort of sensationalize and sort of make these lifestyles look good. So for me, you're right that the larger aspect of this is cultural, but this is the part where I think it may or may not. If you read the book, the what's it called, the bell curve, this is the kind of insinuation that they make, is that there are certain groups of human beings from certain parts of the world which they have biochemical differences with other groups. And I can even stress that in well, I guess what would be less racist, more acceptable. The Japanese and the English, or the Jewish and the Scots. Okay, let's just take those. These are sort of non-black looking, individuals. The Japanese, the Chinese tend to have a very large focus, and the Jews, on education, on studying mathematics. Now, it could be that they have this culturally, or it could be that they have a natural disposition towards reading, writing, and mathematics that the English don't have as much, the Scots, the Welsh, whatever. So it could be that it's a genetic aspect to it, or it's just purely cultural, that the Jewish mothers and Chinese and Japanese mothers and fathers just push their kids for school and study and academics far more than English, Welsh and Scottish and English parents do. There's a good chance that is the case. But the thing with the Africans is that there is a genetic distinction between them and other races. There is a definitive, there's lots of genetic markers, their hair follicles, their testosterone levels, their muscle mass, all of these things are distinctly different from Europeans, from Middle Easterners, Indians, Asian, far Southeast Asians, etc. Now, could it be that given the levels of biochemical levels of various different hormones, given including testosterone, that if a group of people have a higher levels of testosterone than another group, they are quicker to anger, they are quicker to violence, they are quicker to reaction, emotional reaction, reactive sort of measures, rather than they're not as measured, if you will, in their natural instinct. They're quicker to jump at these things. And if given that, and given the fact that they don't have a culture, or at least the culture has been created from their home nations based on these instinctual and biochemical reactions, well, their culture reflects their natural being. And if their culture reflects their natural being being violent or quicker to anger and quicker to react, then their culture is going to simply reflect that. And thus, when you say culture, or when we're saying that these people have a bad culture. Now, I'm not talking about other people from Iran or Iraq or Algeria or whatever adopting black culture. That isn't necessarily from their genetics, but that is their adoption of these cultures. But the blacks themselves develop these cultures based on some genetic markers and genetic biochemical reactions that they have that other races don't.
But is that happening in their motherlands, in the southern hemisphere? Or is that happening because they're relatively peaceful down there?
Which African nations would you say are relatively peaceful?
Well, are they at war aside from where Islam's going in?
No, they're at war in the Congo. They're at war in Somalia. There was wars popping up. What was it? Rwanda. There's wars popping up. Civil wars are all over the place in Central Africa and West Africa and East Africa.
Right. And what's the common theme though? Like,
well, I mean, it's tribal. A lot of it is tribal. It's like Somalia and Somaliland, for example, and then Congo. They have the Central Republic of Congo, and then they've got the Republic of Congo. They were in civil war. the Hutsis and the Tutsis in Rwanda, they were slaughtering each other. I'm talking they were slaughtering each other with machetes to save on bullets, things like that. Insane like levels of violence towards each other. So, and prior to that, if you look at the history of
Right.
the different African nations, with the Zulus against the other tribes, extremely violent and devastating towards each other. Not only that, if you go down the history road, the very people who were selling slaves to the Europeans for the transatlantic slave trade, as well as the Arab slave trade, were certain tribes of Africans who would then go violently sack other villages and take the women and children and men as slaves in order to sell them to the Europeans.
So, right. So it's an ideological.
I don't know if it's ideological. As I said, I think maybe there is a genetic factor to this.
Well, yeah. Every group, when you think about it, every group has its own ideal world.
Interesting.
Okay, and so they have their battle of the wills, and it turns to violence. And push comes to shove, one of them wins and takes over, and their ideology gets to rule until the next time, right? I mean, that's happened throughout history, worldwide. So that, with other influences and possibly like an unhealthy diet because of that, and leading to that kind of behavior, could be mainly the reasons why. I'm not saying it is, but mainly the reasons why, as opposed to just their own basic chemical makeup.
Interesting.
Right. Now, the reason why I asked about are they doing this predominantly northern hemisphere? I mean, because, right, we're seeing more problems from these people in the northern hemisphere than what we see in the southern hemisphere. And I think basically what I'm getting to is I think it's a hormone D deficiency problem. Because that, right, if you can't absorb sufficient amount of UV rays in order for your body to be able to produce enough hormone D, which is second in the chain of command on the hormonal hierarchy, then the rest of your chemical makeup and your mental health goes
Is hormone
totally out of whack,
D
right?
connected to vitamin D?
People call it vitamin D. People say you get vitamin D from the sun. Like, honestly, the misinformation about it
Really?
is
So you don't
disgusting.
get vitamin D from the sun?
And quite frankly, from the medical community, I perceive it as quite genocidal, actually. But it's a hormone.
So you're saying we don't get vitamin D from the sun then?
Right? You absorb UV. You absorb. Hang on. You absorb UV
Okay.
rays from the sun, right? UV rays. It's frequency. It's not light. It's frequencies. You absorb those frequencies, and then your body will produce all of the hormone D. You don't ingest hormone D, right? Which they call vitamin D. And they have these tablets that have got all kinds of stuff in that actually doesn't make any difference to you. But they're tricking people saying, take this, that, and the other, you'll be fine. No, they're not. They're still getting rickets and stuff like that, right? Because melanin is nature's sunblock. When you're southern hemisphere, you need a lot of sunblock, right? When you're northern hemisphere, you don't need that much. Hence, this is native land to the white man, as you might want to call him, right? I've got hardly any melanin in my skin. This is ideal for me. If I go southern hemisphere, I need to cover up. If I had a lot of melanin in my skin and living this far north of the equator, I'm going to end up with health problems. And you know who told me? Big, beautiful black woman 20 years ago told me about all of this and her pains and how it affects her. And I've met other black people from the Caribbean and from Africa who tell me the same. But the doctors aren't telling anyone this.
Sorry. Could you repeat? So a black woman. Could you? Sorry, Lieutenant.
With a lot of melanin in their
Lieutenant,
skin is in
can you
the
hear me?
southern
Can you
hemisphere,
hear me?
they're gonna
I'm
be
sorry.
fine.
Could you
Yeah.
repeat just that
Yeah.
last portion? You said a black woman told you that people from the black sub-Saharan or sort of closer to equator countries, they
People with
they
a
need
lot
to
of
get more
melanin in their
sun.
skin.
Oh,
Absolutely. Because melanin is nature's sunblock. So the thing is, in the northern hemisphere, the distance between the sun and the earth is a lot greater than the distance between the sun and the earth at the southern hemisphere. And then you've got to take into account cloud coverage.
but
Then you've got to take into account our norms, like we cover up. Okay.
so are you saying that black people in
That's
the
not good
northern
for
hemisphere,
someone
black
with a
people
lot
who
of
live in
melanin in
northern
their
hemisphere nations, and don't get the level of sun that they would normally in the southern hemisphere, could that actually affect their biochemical, biochemistry, and that could then affect their
Absolutely.
attitude, their moods, etc., etc.?
Absolutely. A mental health problem crisis because of this. Even people with hardly any melanin in their skin, most commonly referred to as the white man, living in the northern hemisphere, doesn't consume sufficient amounts of magnesium. For your body to produce any hormone, it needs magnesium. We constantly produce hormones. Women have more hormones, more sex hormones than men, but we constantly produce hormones, including growth hormone for repair, which you need a lot of during sleep, and all the rest
And
of
you
it.
need
All these
magnesium.
different hormones, you constantly need a supply of magnesium. We have a major magnesium deficiency problem. Okay, so people like that are white in the northern hemisphere are still experiencing hormone D deficiency, which they're being told by their doctors, take these vitamin D capsules and all of this, you'll be fine, right? No. What they need to be doing is checking their magnesium levels. So if that's happening to white people, imagine what's happening to people with more melanin in their skin.
Interesting.
And now look at the figures around mental health problems. And other physical problems, including autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis and all the rest of it, which comes as a result of a hormone D deficiency and a magnesium
Oh,
deficiency.
wow. So can you actually take magnesium supplements, and would that affect it, or is there some range of foods that we can eat?
Oh yeah, you can take magnesium supplements. Like looking at the state of the food supply, yeah, you can change your diet to improve that. I think we can all do that. Like looking at the Western diet, it's not good. We can all do that. But yeah, you can take pharmaceutical grade magnesium capsules. Like look at the ingredients. You don't want anything with fillers and stuff like that in. Just basic, what they call the electrolytes, like your minerals like magnesium, calcium, zinc, potassium, all those kinds of things. You can get basic capsules, pharmaceutical grade, and they won't do you any harm. Just make sure you're not getting cheap stuff with fillers and whatnot. Not many of them do actually have that anymore, though. The industry is cleaning up. But yeah, magnesium supplements, I would recommend people do that. I'm not a doctor.
Of course,
Go and talk to your
yeah,
doctor.
This is
Find
not
out your
medical
levels, all the
advice. This is
rest of
just,
it. There's the disclaimer.
just opinions.
Yeah.
But the fact is that I think I need to up my magnesium, because I think I'm suffering from a bunch of stuff, because the vitamin D alone isn't doing it. It doesn't feel like I'm getting enough. Although I did get quite a bit of sun on Sunday. We walked a lot, and I didn't have my head covered, so I did get a little bit sunburn actually on my top of my head. But that's not enough.
The thing is, if you haven't got the magnesium in your body, it doesn't matter how much sun you get, your body can't produce the hormone D that it needs to produce.
Magnesium, okay. I will look into the magnesium.
So it needs to do that to produce. It needs to do that to produce testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, the lot. Your growth hormones, oxytocin, which is at the head of the hormonal hierarchy.
Interesting.
And you get that by having meaningful connections with people.
Interesting. Nice. Thank you. Okay, Lieutenant, it's a 2-hour mark. We're going to call it a day on this one because I usually don't want to go like too long on these streams. People just lose interest, and I mean, most of the time they won't even get past the first 20 minutes. But we'll see if we got some good clippable moments where we can maybe I can clip some of this for the shorts. But thank you again, as always. A pleasure to talk to you. I have seen that Big Nose has gone live the last few days, but I haven't really followed him to see what's what. I haven't actually even jumped on a panel yet. Do you still keep track, or?
Well, I'm still being treated like
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
muck or
understand.
whatever. I'm still in the bad books. I don't know. I
That's
don't
what
know,
it
but
was.
like
You see,
I'm
I
just not
was
going there.
I was listening to it for a bit, and then they started bad talking you and others about you going on some other panel and saying something, and then you getting banned from other panels as well. Is that right, or is that? Am I?
I've not been banned from any panels. No, I've come in here and I've gone into another chat. One Generation.
Oh, One
Medias,
Generation.
and
Yeah,
that's
One
it.
Generation is here with us.
I don't
Big
go
up One
around there.
Generation. But yeah, I mean, the guy. I don't know who he was actually. I can't even remember his name. But whoever it was, he was saying something about you being banned from some other location, or maybe it was just that panel that was Big Nose's panel that they were referring to. I'll be honest, I wasn't really paying that much attention. I was busy trying to set up the stream. So but I did hear your name mentioned. That's all. That's why I thought maybe you still keep track of, or you still see what's what with those guys. But if not, don't worry. It is all good. All right. Thank you again. It's always a pleasure. Guys, go to Lieutenant's channel. It's running now, right? You're live right now.
Yeah, it's still running now.
Nice.
Every week
24/7.
an hour. Get your music at my.
You must have reached the number of required hours by now, surely. Are you
No,
kidding me?
I haven't. I've got 20 songs altogether now, you know, and I've got them in radio duration and I've got them in club duration, running back to back. So I've got about my playlist is 3.5 hours long now, so I loop that, and I just keep on trying to make it more.
Awesome.
That's it. But thank you for having
No
me,
problem.
Fancy. I love your audience. I love you.
Definitely.
and I'll
Take
see
care,
you soon.
guys. Take care, Lieutenant. I love everything. Okay, guys and girls, I am going to go solo for a second. And to be honest, there isn't really much else I can say. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you're new, hit that sub button because I do try to get out into the road and check out the roadman, or at least check out the protests out and about. And there is some this weekend, which I'm hoping to be able to get to, because normally I try to get to these things at the weekend, and this weekend has been extremely busy for me, so I apologize. But I do have a little bit of video that I got to cut together with maybe some music for Southend-on-Sea, where I was this weekend, so that's why I wasn't on the road. So maybe if you're interested in some of that footage, you can subscribe and wait for that to be uploaded. I should be able to upload that soon. Otherwise, yeah, have a wonderful evening. Look after yourselves. And don't say the N-word. You bunch of naggers. Just keep nagging and nagging and nagging. All right. Peace out, everyone. Have a good one.
Where happens your weatherman? And have we got news for you? Let's get ready, all you lonely girls, and leave those umbrellas at home. Humidity's rising, barometer's getting low. According to all sources, what sources now? The street's the place to go. Better hurry up.